Okay, so welcome everyone to Authentication with the Apex Toolkit. I will be the MC of this webinar. I'm Lauren Dunn-Bollohue. I'm a Senior Salesforce Evangelist for DocuSign. I'm joined today by Vineet Purtnick, who is Engineering Manager, and Deb Sill, who is Software Engineer, who both work on the DocuSign for Salesforce tool. Moving on, I'm going to go through some quick housekeeping with you. If you do have a question, please do ask it through the Q&A button. We're very informal here at DocuSign, so stop us anytime you have a question. You don't have to wait till the end of the presentation. As you can see, if you hover down the bottom of your screen, you see a Q&A. If you click on that, you're able to ask your question and send it to us. We will be able to answer it on this webinar, or we will message you through text through this Q&A session. With that, I am going to hand you over to Vineet Purtnick, who is software engineer and works very closely with myself on Apex Toolkit. So over to you, Vineet.
Thank you, Lauren. Hello, good morning, everyone. And today we will be talking about DocuSign Apex Toolkit and a new authentication method that we have provided in the toolkit. So to start off our session, this is the agenda for the session today. We are going to discuss about DocuSign Agreement Cloud for Salesforce to start off with, and then we will provide you some useful insights into Apex Toolkit, followed by a live demo of how you can actually utilize the new method that we are exposing. So starting off with the DocuSign Agreement Cloud for Salesforce. So when you associate DocuSign with real life processes, mainly people imagine our company as an e-signature specialist. But since the last few years, we have been also trying to ramp up our expertise in the whole agreement lifecycle, which is not only signing and electronically signing an agreement, but also generating an agreement and the intermediate steps in that agreement process. So taking a look at our Salesforce managed package landscape, in the year 2008, we started off with DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce, which is one of our most old and most flagship product on App Exchange. This is like DocuSign's first product on App Exchange, which helped Salesforce customers integrate e-signature functionality into their application. DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce has rich functionalities, not only to support e-sign, but also advanced capabilities like custom buttons and DocuSign envelope configuration, which help you customize your complex business processes using advanced Salesforce capabilities. Then we have DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce CPQ, which is essentially useful for customers who are working with Salesforce CPQ in order to manage the configure, price, and quoting capabilities for their customers. So DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce CPQ is an extension package to DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce, and it helps organizations integrate DocuSign e-signature functionality into their CPQ process. Then a couple of years ago, we started off with a new managed package called DocuSign Apps Launcher. And right now, DocuSign Apps Launcher not only has basic e-signature capabilities, but it also comes with DocuSign Gen, DocuSign Negotiate, DocuSign CLM, as well as Apex Toolkit. So our main topic for today, Apex Toolkit, is part of our DocuSign Apps Launcher managed package. So this is like a quick summary of what DocuSign Agreement Cloud for Salesforce currently looks like. We can move on to the next slide. So DocuSign Apex Toolkit. So as you guys saw earlier, DocuSign Apex Toolkit is a part of the DocuSign Apps Launcher managed package. So what exactly is the Apex Toolkit? So basically Apex Toolkit is a set of global methods and classes that can be utilized by Salesforce customers who have installed DocuSign Apps Launcher in their organization. And using these Apex Toolkit methods, they can seamlessly interact with our e-signature APIs. And our plan is not only help them integrate with our e-signature APIs, but also in the future, build on this functionality and help customers automate document generation as well as negotiation and other capabilities, which out of the box managed package can do. So we have a rich set of API references, which you can find on our developers site. And there are also a few sample code examples as to how you can get started with the Apex Toolkit. There are articles around installation as well as user setup. So I would like highly encourage developers who are passionate about integrating DocuSign capabilities in their Salesforce platform and who want to automate complex processes to please take a look at the Apex Toolkit. Pretty powerful. So typical Apex Toolkit use cases, right? So as you know, we have a managed package. So there is some out of the box functionality from the managed package. But then we also wanted people to use the same APIs seamlessly that we have used in the package while building the out of the box functionality. So we have exposed these APIs globally as well. Now, how is it useful for developers? So basically developers no longer are now tied to the out of the box process that we are supporting, and they can build complex processes that suit their business use case and their Salesforce organization by leveraging these APIs that we are exposing. So our main intention or motivation behind exposing these APIs is to help such developers as well as organizations who are having very complex and customized process which can't be met with out of the box capabilities. We have seen people implement their own e-signature integration in their Salesforce orgs earlier. And although it can be done, the process of setting up the authentication model and all the nitty-gritties around the integration can be complex. So what we as DocuSign thought is we could make this complex process a bit easier with the help of these global Apex Toolkit methods. Moving on to the next slide. So before we actually jump into the new API as well as the demo around the API, I would like to spend a couple of minutes talking around the user flow in our apps launcher package and how end users or Salesforce users interact with the package capabilities. So you will see on the left hand side, we are having a Salesforce organization, and that organization has this DocuSign Apps Launcher managed package installed. So once that managed package is installed, you can associate your Salesforce users to be this managed package users by using the internal capabilities provided in the managed package of user management. So basically, a single admin user will log in via the package to a DocuSign account, and then that admin user can add rest of the other Salesforce users whom they fit deem to use this package for their business organization. So here we have 1, 2, 3, like n number of user instances who have been assigned the DocuSign Apps Launcher permission set. And this is done when the admin adds them via the DocuSign setup. So typically, let's consider an example of user 1. So when user 1 is interacting with our managed package, user 1 can either trigger an out of the box process like a button click for sending out for signature, or they can trigger our DocuSign API in the context of the Apex Toolkit. So basically, let's consider user 1 is clicking on the out of the box send with DocuSign button. In this particular scenario, the first step that our package internally checks is that if that Salesforce end user in Salesforce has provided DocuSign consent to act on their behalf. This is like our regular OAuth flow. So for example, if you visit any website and on the website, you find an option of sign in with Gmail. So basically you are giving Gmail the authority to act on your behalf. Similarly, within the DocuSign Apps Launcher managed package, before any end user invokes any DocuSign API on his behalf, we are making sure that the end user understands the implications and they accept the consent. So once an end user accepts the consent using our connected app, which on the right hand side you will see sits in our DocuSign platform, we can use this connected app settings to exchange a user based JWT token. And then using that JWT token, we can do all the API interactions with DocuSign using the Apex Toolkit method. So essentially, this is how not only out of the box processes will work, but also Apex Toolkit methods will work. And understanding this particular concept is the base to how the authentication flow works in DAL. I think those were the initial points that I wanted to cover, and now I would like to hand it over to Deb, who will provide us the details around the new API as well as how we can implement this. Deb, it's your.
Thanks, Vinit, for sharing the architectures for Apex Toolkit and also sharing details about the authentication process. So here I'll tell more details about that, how we can do that authentications, and also show a quick demo for that. So before doing that, I will share few prerequisites also. So in the before like last year, we released that version 2.2 and for DocuSign Apex Toolkit. So in that 2.2, we exposed that authentication methods by Apex Toolkit. So using that, actually, you can do that, grant that consent for Apex Toolkit, and any of the DocuSign user who want to do that authentications, they can actually use this getLoginUrl method. So this is done for some security reasons. So if we do not use the DocuSign Apex Toolkit getLoginUrl method, there is other option also, like any of the managed package provided pages, for example, status pages, or let's say any sending pages. If you open that also, if the user is not authenticated, you will see buttons. Using that also, you can authorize or like obtain that consent. So why it is needed? The main reason that the security reason is that the user should not access DocuSign API unless they have access token for that. So if you have a wrong access token, it should throw you an error. So once you share that, once you authorize it, it ensures that you have that valid access token to access that API. So this is the main reason, and due to that security reason, we have implemented this. As I earlier said, like we have to upgrade it for DocuSign Apex Toolkit version 2.2 in order to get that getLoginUrl method. So yeah, I will quickly show you like the 3 steps process to get this started. So as Vinit shared in the earlier demo, that DocuSign Apps Launcher managed package need to be installed in order to access this Apex Toolkit. And also you need to upgrade for version 2.2. As a best practice, we always suggest like to upgrade to the latest version also, because we always try to make our package more secure. We do bug fixes and also release new features. So if you upgrade to the latest managed package version, you have all the latest features, and also it is more secure. So in order to access this Apex Toolkit, you need to upgrade this version 2.2. And then once you navigate to the setup tab, you need to complete login steps. I will show you that how to do that. And also you have to few Apex classes, there is some code that you need to write down. So as a developer, you want to customize it. So I will show you like a example of that customizations. So you can actually customize your applications via Apex Toolkit methods. So you can write code in the Apex classes. So this is like some sample codes to access this Apex Toolkit methods. So the first, you can see that how to get this login URL. So envelope service provide a method called send envelope. So using that send envelope, we can actually send any DocuSign envelope for signature. So that's method is already available in earlier version as well. But recently in version 2.2, we exposed that getLoginUrl method. Using that, you actually get the consent for that. So this particular pseudocode, which is what it is doing, like it's trying to send envelope, but in case the user is not authorized, it gets that error code, which is specifically says like, okay, the consent is not there. So you get an error code called consent required. And in case you get that error code, we are sending it for a authorization URL. And then once users put that credential for that login URL, the user can be redirected back to that redirect page. So in this example, the user will be redirected back to that my page. And then also you can set up any of the Visualforce page and you can get the status. For example, you can see like in the we can check the result using the status and messages as well. So I will show you a quick demo for that, which will be like, this will be more clear once you will see that. So these are the 5 steps that I will do as part of this demo. So first, I will go and check that what is the manage package install. So I have a Salesforce org, which is connected to a DocuSign account. So you can see this is connected to a DocuSign demo or sandbox account. And then I have an install package, which is the kind of latest version, DocuSign 2.4.2, DocuSign Apps Launcher, which is active. And then I have not enabled any of this product, only the default e-signature product is enabled. And then I have a few users like admin and non-admin. So when I say admin, means it's the integrations users. So integrations user has more access than other non-admin user. But in our use cases, I will talk mostly about the non-admin users, like the normal standard users, how they can get the authentication process done. So you can see like both of these users, user and user 2, the user 1 is already active. That means this user is already activated and then already authorized. So this user has already the access token and then can access the Apex Toolkit method and also send envelope for signature. However, the user 2, the status is pending. That means these users do not have that access token, and this user must authorize in order to access that Apex Toolkit method. So I will show you like both of these users, like logged in with both of these users, and then how the behavior is. So before going through that, I will show like what is the application that I have built. So I have created a button called send for signature. This is a simple, very simple lightning button, which actually invoke this send for signature controller. And then this is the helper process send for signature helper method. So in this particular helper method, if you can see the first thing, I am just like I'm passing the Salesforce record ID. And then if it is successful, then it shows like envelope has been sent for signature. That means in the Apex controller C, it means controller send for signature method has a process which ensures that, okay, we invoke a method which actually send for signatures. And then if it is successful, it does not return any redirect URL. But if it is failure, it returns me a redirect URL where actually I will put that DocuSign credential in order to authorize the applications. So this is more clear if I see that Apex controller, what it is doing. So this is the send for signature method, which inside the try block, I'm trying to send for signature via Apex Toolkit. So you can see like this is a custom method I have written, and inside that custom method, I'm passing source ID, first name, last name, and template ID. So with 5-step simple process, I'm sending for signature. So the first I'm creating envelope, then I'm adding recipients. So I'm passing that parameter first name, last name, and all the details like also the signer role name. I'm also passing the envelope ID, the template ID in order to create envelope, and then also passing the document. So once this envelope is created, I'm actually, this is the main method for sending envelope, the envelope service send envelope. And I want to send it now, so that's why the Boolean is true. And this template and all the recipients I have already prepared. So this template is already available in my DocuSign account. Let me quickly show you that. So this is my DocuSign account. And this has only single template which I am using, and this has this. This is how the template looks like, and then this has a role called signer one role. And you can see this is the template ID which I have used. So let me quickly, yes, so this is the template ID I have used. And then in case the user is not authorized, then it will go to the catch block, and then we will receive that API error code, which is consent required. So in that case, I'm checking, okay, if the user is not authorized and I'm getting that error code, then let's redirect to that what service to get that authentication done. So this is the method that I'll be talking about most. So this is the getLoginUrl method. And then once the user put the DocuSign credential and then it is authorized, the redirection is done, and it redirects back to the Salesforce record pages. So because I'm passing that record ID, it will redirect back exactly to the record sales where I started. So you can customize this also based on your need. So yeah, let's go back to the real demo. So first I will log in with the sender one, which is active user. So this is my active user called, sorry, this is sender two. And this is the sender one. Let me refresh this page. So this user already active, and then you can see this in the DocuSign status component, which is the out of the box manage package provided component. So you can see there is no authorized button because if it is not authorized, then you will see a button. I will show that for the user too. You will see a authorized button here if the user is not authorized. So in that case, I can assume that if I hit this send for signature, it will send document for signature via Apex Toolkit. So let me hit send for signature. So you can see I'm getting that notification. So that means I should have received an email. So you can see I can receive an email from this user one, and then I can sign this document. So I can sign this document. So once it is done, so it's completed. So the sender one, like the authentication is already done, and then I'm completed the signing. But now for sender two, this is the user two. So this user two do not have authorization. So in that case, this is the out of the box DocuSign status component. This shows authorized button. So this is one way of doing that, as I earlier said. Like you can hit authorize and then do this process completed, like get the user authorized. However, like businesses are complex, and then you want to make things simple, like putting it all in a same buttons. So for send for signature, when I hit this send for signature, now it will go to that catch block because the user is not authorized. So if I hit this send for signature, so it's redirected to that login URL. So now I can put this credential. So this user now obtained that consent. And now once the user authorized, if I just click DocuSign status component, I can see, okay, no, the authorized button is not available. That means user is already authorized to access any of these APIs, DocuSign APIs. So now if I hit send for signature, it should be successful. So now I'm able to send for signature. So you can see I received a new email from user 2. I can sign it and finish. So this is what I wanted to show that, okay, this user is now active. You can actually check the status for this user as well, because the moment the user is authorized, it's reflected to the admin setup pages as well. So if I check this user management, you can see this user is active now. So this is how you can add any number of non-admin user, and then that user can get their consent by themselves by hitting this custom send for signature button, or like you can customize your application you want. So yeah, so that is the end of my demo, and then I will transfer this to Lauren.
Thanks very much, Deb. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Thank you so much, Deb. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. I was taking notes throughout the whole presentation. So I learned a lot. I hope you guys, the attendees, did learn a lot as well. I want to share some developer resources with you guys as well. So there's the Developer Center, developers.docusign.com. That's where you can find all the helpful information that Vineet was talking about at the beginning of the presentation. Stack Overflow is usually where questions are answered. There's a whole bunch in there at the moment that have been answered. So if you do have a question, maybe head over there and see if it's already been answered. Support Center, support.docusign.com. DocuSign University, there was a presentation yesterday. It's also going to be tweeted out soon on getting started with DocuSign University and our free courses. There is coming soon an Apex Toolkit course, which is going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for that to come out. We have some up and coming API office hours. If you go to docusign.com/API webinars, you'll find a whole list of webinars that are coming up. The next one is at June 30th at 10 a.m. PDT. There's also YouTube. So if you go over to the DocuSign developers on YouTube, we have a channel which hosts a whole ton of good content in there. And then we have the developer blog, and then there's some partner resources as well. I want to thank you guys for coming to this presentation. I hope you got a lot out of it. I don't see any questions. So with that, I'm going to say thank you, and we'll see you at the next one.